reconnected and free. Find new paths. This is your podcast space for deep life lessons and raw reflections from an open-end world journey and a soul-led life. Hosted by Maya. Are you happy with yourself right now? Are you happy with your life, how it is right now? Maybe it's the case for you as for so many other people, and also sometimes, and especially in the past, for myself, because we are all comparing ourselves, our lives, what we have or what we don't have, with other people. And it's easier than ever to do that because of social media. And we do need to talk about this comparison and how it is unhealthy, but also how we can use comparison for ourselves, for the state we wish to be in most of the time in our life, and also how our life looks like every day, and also for the future we want to create for our vision. So let's start where we are right now, with maybe tendency to comparing yourself or your life or something specific in your life in an unhealthy kind of way. For example, it's often the case that we miss something in ourselves, a feeling, a certain point where we want to be in life, and we have to go deeper and not only have this feeling of being uncomfortable and wanting to be someone else, to be somewhere else, but we need to look so deep that we can also find out what we are really missing and how we can get this. And oftentimes, to already now spoiler this, it's not a certain thing we really want or a certain person we want to be, but a feeling we're missing inside of ourselves. And this might sound so hard because then, you could judge yourself now. Why haven't I then been there before? Why don't I have the feelings that I want already? It should be so easy, because it's not. Let's be gentle to ourselves, because it's not as easy as it might sound in the first place. But also, this is the good news, it's the same. It can be totally easy. It can be easy, but it takes some deep diving and some practice. And now that you're still here, I'm sure you have the feeling that you can do this somewhere deep inside of you, and I'm convinced you can get there. You can feel the way you want to feel like. So maybe we are comparing ourselves with the online life. With social media, it's really hard because we see all these perfect lives and these perfect people, and we are directly again and again confronted with it, because many people are using social media on a daily basis. So we're in this confrontation, but this isn't always like the real world, because people maybe just show you a little piece of their life or of their personality or of their personal, and oftentimes this is not what they are struggling with, what is going wrong, but just the bright side of life, only the highlights. And then we get the feeling, oh, why don't I live like that? Why don't I have this high life and everything so nice and shiny? And why am I not like this? So it's a really unhealthy kind of way we are trapping into of comparison. Maybe we are not only comparing ourselves to certain people online or certain lives we are kind of confronted with, but also with the expectations of other people, expectations from our surroundings, that they tell us we need to be somewhere at a certain state of our life or behave a certain way. And sometimes it's just ourselves being convinced, okay, I can see these people doing this and this and that. What am I doing? Am I too lazy? Am I too bad? Am I not successful enough? Should I be this at this point or that point? And then we're asking ourselves the questions, like the bad questions, that don't lead us anywhere. That don't lead us to the place we want to be, but get us more in the downward spiral and make us feel even more bad. But let's break this cycle now. Sometimes we are, as I said, comparing ourselves also with our surroundings. And I think this is also a really big topic, as I can say from my experience and my surroundings in your 20s. I'm pretty sure this is in all life phases, but just looking different. But as I said, I'm in my 20s, so I can talk about that the best right now. And we're all at so different states in our life. And it's so hard and so easy at once to compare our lives with each other, or to compare our lives without the other person maybe even knowing about it. Because it's like this simple. Some people in their 20s, especially, as I said, are just graduating. Some have already their 5th job or something. Some are really successful in a job. Some are changing paths and directions of their career completely. Some are getting married. Some don't even have a relationship, don't want it. Some are starting to have kids, and some just go from one party to the other. Some are building their homes, some are traveling, and some are really lost. And this podcast and all my content is especially for everyone, no matter what age or in which life state you are in. If you feel kind of lost, we're in this together. We're really in this together. You don't need to have it all figured out, no matter where you are in your life, what you feel like, or how old you are. In the end, it's so important that you let this kind of feeling of being lost be there, to acknowledge it, and then to work with it, to get to know yourself better, to find out who you want to be, what you want to try out. So you're also doing the action steps. And yeah, I'm here with a lot of inspiration for that, for sure, too. Just to give you a little pushable glimpse of that one, too. So it's all in the same frame, same bubble kind of here. So let's focus on the comparison. And I feel like also doing this podcast episode, not only because we're all confronted with social media and different expectations, and this kind of comparison seems natural to us, but also because I'm comparing myself too. So it's from a personal space that I'm talking about now, about maybe what I should have done by now or should do, because I'm walking a really different path than most of the people, as you can see, as I'm showing you here, and especially on Instagram. And I have so many more stories to tell you. We are getting deeper and deeper step by step. And yeah, so this is when I sometimes fall into comparing mode. Also sometimes with social media, it's easily for me to get kind of addictive to social media, to scroll and then to see some certain places and to not be happy with mine. And this is kind of also what I'm falling into, or fell into, in the past few weeks, because of course I'm really grateful for being on travels, for having these many opportunities, and to just do what I'm doing and to share all of this with you. Also, I didn't feel that grateful, even though people were texting me like, oh, you should be so happy and this must be so nice, and of course you're happy and this is so great what you're doing. I wish I could do that. And yeah, I think it's time for some real talk about that, because I'm not that happy with the situation right now, and I've lost my gratefulness for my privilege here, for what I'm doing. And I focused a lot on things going wrong, not as I wished for them. And also I don't feel so good with the country I'm in right now. It doesn't really fit anymore, and I'm not present, I'm not grateful, I'm just somewhere else with my head and mentally not in the best state. Yeah, because I distract myself, you see, and then not being happy. So of course you're not always happy, and you're not always happy when you're confronting yourself with different topics, when you're on your healing journey, when you're journaling, when you get your self-help. But then you're working on it, and then you can, whatever is there, what needs to heal, what, because you're blocked, then you can step by step embrace and let go. So it's good to go through all of these processes, even though they might feel bad at first, or more bad than distracting yourself, but long term it's so worth it. And on the way you always have like these little goals, these little highlights where you already feel, okay, this can be quite exhausting, but it's also rewarding. So yeah, I'm currently changing a little things, so I'm getting it a little in a better place, and I'm really happy about yeah, next month already, maybe already in the beginning of this month, the end of this month, I'm fulfilling myself a lifelong dream actually, and I haven't really realized it, and it's hard for me to really feel this and this happiness because I'm kind of stuck mentally. So there are many things I'm showing you, especially when I'm traveling, and some things maybe going wrong with traveling, some traveling highlights, but I'm also, especially in the podcast, sharing things that are going wrong. But because I can't share everything, because it's like too much to tell every day and to just focus on the content, and some things, and I'm sure you can understand this, I want to keep private, even especially for now, I think. I think it's a better timing sometime else when I'm a little bit not directly involved in certain situations and emotions, to talk about them, to get through some processes. So it's a balancing act for me to take you with me on my journey, and also to go to some things for my own, to just focus on whatever is there, and then tell you what I've learned, what I've experienced, or taking you with me when I'm not directly involved anymore. And I think you can understand this because everyone also loves their privacy. So yes, this is what I wanted to talk with you also with the comparison, because of the messages I got. And I'm really grateful for everyone texting me and telling me, hey, I'm so inspired by you and I love what you're doing. This is so great. It is. Thank you for seeing this. Thank you for seeing that I'm here, that I'm showing up, that I'm sharing this with you, and that you're happy about me sharing it. And I'm really, really honored when I inspire you too. I just want to tell you that there's much more that you often cannot see. What got me to this point, that I mentally was able to do this travel, is what I did, everything and everyone that was involved in this process, and everything that has happened on my really roller coaster journey, on my really different path already. And for sure this path will be extraordinary in my whole life. I feel that. Just wanted to show you that there's more than just, hey, it's so nice that you're traveling. Yes, but there's much more behind it also. So you could compare yourself with others, or for example with me, and you could only, because the other person is presenting it like that, or this is just what you can see, or what you're resonating with, or what you want to see. Maybe we often only see what we want to see in other people too. So you compare yourself, maybe you judge yourself, you put yourself down because you want to be at a certain point in your life, or a certain person, or want to be, for example, more like a certain person, or more like me, or have my life. But it isn't good for you. It won't make you happier. And this is where we really want to talk about now. Now that you know which comparison there is existing, what's going on, in the life update about comparison in my situation. You know, the good comparison. What can you do to profit from comparing? And why comparison isn't bad? Isn't that bad, or cannot be that bad? So it depends always on the perspective and how you're using whatever is happening, whatever is confronting you. And we talked about comparing yourself and then not being happy with yourself and with your life and getting in a downwards spiral. But now we want to have a look at how you can compare with other people so you benefit from that. And or comparison in general, how you can benefit from comparison, how you can benefit from not being happy with who you are, where you are right now, what you have or what you don't have in your life. And there are like different ways we can go here, different options, and we keep it easy, I'd say, for the first one. But maybe it's the hardest. Depends on your perspective again. Maybe you are comparing yourself to other people, maybe people you can reach out to, or your surroundings, your friends, family, or so on. And you want to be more like them, more happy, more outgoing, more smart, or you want to have something they have in their life, maybe a house, a car, maybe a great relationship, maybe also some kind of certain life, like they can buy whatever they want to, then don't have to look at money. They have a lot of freedom, whatever it is. And instead of being jealous and getting the downward spiral of being angry and frustrated, why don't you have all of this? Maybe instead, of course, and then when you're calm and breathing and you find out, hey, I'm so jealous because of this, you can feel what is the need you have in the surface level. What is the need you have? As we said, a certain relationship, a car, more money, being more outgoing, whatever it is. And then you can reach out to those people and say, hey, I feel that I also want to have this that you have, or be like this as I feel like, as I see that you are. And could you help me with that? What did you do to get to this point, to be like this, and so on? So it's about asking the right questions, the questions that get you further, so you can reach out for help. Or maybe just asking yourself at first these kind of questions. What got the person there? What can I do to reach that certain state at certain point in my life? So you change the question from why don't I have this? Why don't I deserve this? To how can I get there? How can I become this kind of person who has all of this? You know, so you're switching the question, which is already doing a lot. And when you're reaching out to someone else, you're getting more help, or you're looking for books or online for other people or whatever that can help you with closing the gap. You know, the gap of I'm here, I'm unhappy, I'm frustrated, I want to be able to have great relationships. So this is the goal. And then between I want to have great relationships, I have a great relationship, there's a gap right now. And to cross this gap, you need to build a bridge. And this bridge can be asking the right questions to yourself, reaching out for help to other people, reading certain books or podcasts or whatever might help you. So this is great. The comparison can be great, so we can feel, hey, there is something that I want. So I'm now listening deeper into myself, and I'm reaching out to get there, because you're not alone. And it's such a great thing to get yourself help when you don't know any further right now. This is no weakness. This is such a strength, because when are we the strongest? Never alone. We're the strongest when we are together with others, with other people, when we combine our strengths, when we help each other, and when we work together. So let's all work together. Let's also reconnect, connect and reconnect with other people, with each other. And this is also the reconnection with yourself. And this is a really important point, because we now only talked about, okay, this is, you feel like you're jealous. So that's the first step. You feel jealous, frustrated, angry, or whatever. Then you find out why, because you want to be at a certain point in your life. You want to have a certain thing. You want to have a certain skill, maybe, whatever it is. And then when you really, really want to be happy and fulfilled, then you also have to go take the third step. And this is looking behind what is going on, behind the things you want. So you know you want to have something, a certain life, a certain thing, or you want a certain skill. But why? What is it deep inside of you that is craving for this? Where's the hunger coming from? And this is where the real work starts. Because we're not on the surface level where we can reach out to others. How did you get there? And this and this. This can be helpful. But have you ever heard the stories of millionaires or billionaires that are having so much money, but still they aren't happy? And this is not because of the money. Because in some kind of ways, money can make happy. And I think it's important. Yeah, I'm convinced it's important to rebuild your relationship with money, to strengthen the relationship with money, because money is a neutral energy and it's up to us to use it wisely. So I think these stories aren't about the money, or that the money is bad because they are not happy, but it wants us to have a look at what is deeper. Because maybe someone who's now really successful in business with money, or in some kind of other way successful, wherever you're looking up at, for example, maybe these people got there because something was lacking inside of them, something was missing, they were hurt, they also, like you are at the point, they were jealous, they were frustrated, they were angry, whatever it is. And then they just did something to get somewhere, to have something, to be content, to be happy. So there's also a shortcut, because it's nice to have those things, to be there, to have this life or whatever. But what really makes you happy is not achieving a certain goal, or being able to afford or have a certain thing in your life. It's about the feeling behind it, that you think you will get when you get to a certain point, when you buy a certain thing or whatever. And when you are reaching this goal for a little moment or a longer moment, you're happy for sure. And congratulations. You can celebrate yourself for achieving that, for getting there, because this wasn't your reality some time ago. And now it is. So you did something right. Great. But maybe this isn't all. Maybe you want to stay with a happy feeling. Maybe you really want to feel fulfilled, not dependent on other people, on other people's opinion, on different things, on material things, or on something in the outside, but in the inside. So we can find out what we really want behind this, what we think we want. Maybe you want a great car, but not to have a great car, but to be seen as someone successful, as someone nice, fast, hot, whatever. Maybe you want a relationship finally with that one person, or finally having a functional relationship with someone, but deep inside of you, it's not about a certain person or the certain status, but you want to really feel loved, because you can't manage to love yourself with all of it, to accept who you really are, but no one knows these parts of you. Some parts that you are really, really embarrassed of, that they are also part of you. So you don't love yourself, but you want someone else, so you want something outside of you to send there the missing love. So it's up to us to find out what it is, what we really want, what's behind the things that we want, and to work on that. I think it's some kind of workshop because I like to call it more workshop than inner work. It makes it more fun and smoother, I think. And so it's important sometimes to change words for something, to change the meaning, to make it easier, to make it more accessible and more fun for you, like the workshop instead of the inner work. And then you can do inner workshops and just, find out with the right questions, with the right techniques, what do you really want and how you can get into this kind of state of feeling. I personally really suggest journaling. There are many ways to journal where you can also work with different questions or just writing down whatever you feel to get it out of your head, to get it out of your system, and then to sort it afterwards. And then you're more clear. Because this is also about clearness. When we are always comparing ourselves, when we were somewhere else with our head, then we are not with ourselves. Then we are distracted and unsure, unhappy, instead of being with ourselves and being clear. So I'm sure I will talk more about how to even more get to yourself so you are in this clear kind of state. This is the reconnection I'm talking about here. Reconnecting with yourself so you are more clear, you can feel yourself, you know what you want, and you can work on getting these feelings, getting into the state and being to the state, being present with whatever you wish for, really wish for. And then also, of course, you can get outside and get whatever you want, these relationships, build these skills, be able to afford certain things, have a certain kind of lifestyle. Of course, go for it. If it makes you happy, yes, but don't do it just because someone else did it. You want to be seen or loved or whatever. Do it from an abundant kind of inner state. And we can work on them, on these kind of things, like at once. You can work on getting somewhere to achieve something, and also parallel to work on yourself, what you need inside of you. It's the healing journey that's walking parallel to whatever is going on in our life. And sometimes this one thing is more important, more focused on, and sometimes the other one. It's about finding our own balance and staying in this progress, staying committed, staying there. And when you're falling back, okay, you'll get back to your true self. So to summarize this, it's really important that you compare yourself, not in a bad kind of way, but get inspiration from where other people are, what is going on at other people's lives or what they are like. Just get inspired. But don't put yourself down. Just use it to look inside of you, to be happy for other people. This is another challenge to work on, but really makes a lot with yourself. But to also work and see and feel what is really there inside of you to change your life for the better long term. And one extra tip I want to give to you about comparison. Comparison can be also really nourishing when you compare yourself as a motivation and inspirational to people who are there where you want to be. People who already achieved what you want to achieve. People who already have it. And this can be, of course, around you, but think big. Think big and see all these people, all these role models that are existing. And of course, they're not doing everything perfectly, and not everything is maybe as shiny as it looks like, but they have done big things. And you can too. just need to see these big things, the biggest imaginable goal that maybe feels so uncomfortable and you aren't convinced that you can reach it, but this is like the best case. And then you can look at this, not get frustrated because you're not there or have a long way to go. And it's not about going directly where they are, but if it's a similar path, it's a similar goal, just walking there, going a bit of the way. And I'm sure you can learn really a lot, way more than if you had a less higher goal and you would just focus on that, and then you would like close yourself up from everything that's really possible for you. So also look inside of you, what is waiting for you in this life. Not about only what your surroundings did. Maybe your path is a completely other one. And this is okay too. This is totally fine. And you're so brave to finally starting to listen to this voice, that voice that is telling you that there's more waiting for you in this life. More happiness, more fulfillment, more abundance, more from whatever. You deserve it. And it's now time for you to get it, to get what you want, and to get into this state of happiness, peacefulness inside of you, with which you can just feel present and happy and achieve whatever you want to. I'm sure you got this, and have fun with all the comparison confronting you in your life, and let's reconnect. Thank you for being here. This podcast accompanies you through big changes, life's questions, and the beauty of finding your own way. If you what touched your heart today, I'd love to read that in the comments. You want daily insights and travel life and direct learnings? Then make sure to follow me on Instagram. The links are as always in the show notes. Keep walking your path. Much love, yours Maya.